guys. Hi. We made it to Tuesday. Still hot out there, so hopefully you guys are staying cool and hydrating, taking care of yourself. I think maybe most of you know that this is unfortunately going to be the last Tuesday online virtual class. But we are going to keep the Saturdays going at La Mesa, 9:15. Those are live, those are in person. The next couple of weeks they will be canceled because I will be back home in St. Louis seeing my family. So September 12th we'll be back at La Mesa, 9:15 if you want to join. I've really enjoyed doing this Tuesday nights, even though this is not my comfort zone. I'm not meant to be on camera, I don't think. But I've really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to do this, and I'm really glad that I will continue with Saturdays. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you've got your mat. We won't need any props or anything today. We're gonna just do things nice and slow, kind of work our way into the week. Focus is really just gonna be on the whole body, loosening up everything, hopefully feeling nice and relaxed, and to start your evening off, or end your evening and start your week off right. So we're gonna get started in child's pose. Let's make it a wide-legged child's pose. So what I mean by that is your big toes are gonna touch, and you're gonna open up your knees as wide as comfortable. So just kind of opening them up the width of your mat, and then allow your belly to fall forward. Forehead reaches down to the floor. Arms stretch out in front of you as your hips reach back to your heels. And I'm gonna sit up just so you can hear me. Take a moment to get any last wiggles out, any last little bit of movement to really feel comfortable. And once you've done that, allow your body to relax. So keeping your belly pulled in and fingertips reaching long towards your mat, you'll let your mind start to empty of any thoughts. Your breath is going to start to slow down. You're going to begin to elongate each breath in and each breath out that you take. And when we talk about breathing, it kind of seems like such a silly thing. Everyone knows how to breathe. But a big part of yoga is using that breath to help guide your movement, help clear your mind, relax your body. So we want those inhales to be really big, full, long, matching the length of your exhale. So you're using the full capacity of your lungs. And if you need help with this, sometimes I like to visualize my body as a balloon. And as you inhale, you're going to fill up your balloon. So you're going to feel as your belly expands, rib cage begins to expand, chest begins to expand. Hold at the very top, almost like you were pinching that mouth of the balloon. Hold. And then as you exhale, slowly allow that air to come out. And that's your nice long exhale. So take the next few breaths just exploring that, what that feels like. How does that make your body feel? And again, just taking that time to allow yourself to be present within these four corners of your mat. Nothing else matters. All of the to-dos, the worries, the rest of the week, that'll all be there when this hour is done. So gift yourself this time to be present on your mat. Breathing in your child's pose, you're going to walk your hands over to the right corner. So keeping the forehead down, the hips are still reaching back towards the heels, just getting a little slight side stretch. So you're going to start to feel a nice openness on the left side as you reach towards that right corner. Take time to breathe in this right cornered position, and then walk yourself slowly through center, using that inhale and then taking yourself over to the left corner. So now we're getting a nice side stretch here on the right side, opening up through that right rib. Everything's gentle, slow moving, still using that inhale through the nose, exhale out the nose. And then guide yourself back through center, and then slowly begin to lift your body up, coming to tabletop. When you arrive, let's align our body. So belly pulls in, nice long spine, knees in line with the hips, wrists in line with your shoulders, fingers spread wide. You're gonna press into the pads of your fingers, slight lift between the palm of your hand and the ground. Toes can be curled under for a little bit more stretch in the backs of the feet, or place the tops of the feet down onto the floor. As you inhale, you're going to arch your back, so belly drops down, gaze looks up. As you exhale, round through the upper body, and then drop your hips towards your heels. Inhale, come back through that tabletop position, and then drop the belly, let the back have a deep as you look up. Exhale, press against your mat all the way down to your heels. So using our breath to guide through a version of cat-cow, taking another 5 or so breaths to explore how this feels. And there's no wrong or right way here. I just suggest taking it nice and slow. Really feel the motion of your back as you arch. And then really allowing yourself on your exhale to come down deep, those hips towards your heels. Let's do one more full breath cycle. And then when you get to your cow pose, stay in the cow pose for a full breath. On your next breath, go ahead and round through that upper body. Allow the crown of the head to come down. Stay here, really pushing the mat away. It's a nice big arch here in that upper back. And then release back to your tabletop. And just take a second to kind of let the hips come a little bit side to side. Notice if there's any tightness in that low back. Again, pull that belly in. On your next breath in, you're going to lengthen your right leg back behind you. Lift the foot up off the ground, dial your toes down, and try to keep your leg in line with your hip. Notice if that belly's arching down, pull everything up and in. Breathe here. And then slowly begin to take that right foot and bring it towards the side, so the right foot's gonna come to the floor. And I'm just gonna turn around so you can kind of get a different visual of what that looks like. So you're in this kind of funky triangle position. There should be a gentle stretch here in that inner thigh. You can stay on your hands or walk yourself down onto your forearms. Everything's still drawing in towards the center. But imagine that there is a wall behind your bottom, so you're pressing against that imaginary wall, belly pulls in, and the sole of your foot is on the ground, keeping that stretch in that inner thigh. Use your strength to guide yourself back up towards your hands, if not already. And then slowly walk yourself up, and you'll come to kneel on that left knee. Hands come to your hips. Take a big inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Nice stretch. Relax the shoulders down, belly still pulls in. And then in a nice fluid motion, you're going to take yourself back through center. Left hand comes all the way down to your mat. Right fingertips reach high. And staying here, or allowing that right arm to drop down towards the side wall, so getting a bigger stretch. So now we're really getting here into the side ribs. Notice if those shoulders are creeping up towards the ears, keep it nice and relaxed. Gaze can look up, straight ahead, or down. Use your breath to carry yourself back through center. Hands lower down. And then taking that leg, just lifting it back up behind you. Pause. And then lower that knee down to the mat, coming back to tabletop. So take a breath here. We're going to take that onto the other side. I'm just going to flip around again so you can see me. When you feel grounded and stable, use that belly strength to lift that left leg back behind you. Left foot is flexed, long line from the heel all the way to the crown of your head. Use your breath to carry that left leg over to the side, and then planting that foot down as you come to this little funky one leg pyramid. And then your choice, you can stay nice and high or lower it down to intensify that stretch coming to your forearms. And while we breathe in this position, keep your gaze looking down but forward slightly, almost like you're looking at a spot a little bit ahead of you, maybe 2 to 3 feet, but the gaze looks down. And that's going to keep your neck nice and long. So no tension or straining of that neck. Bring yourself up to your hands if you're not there already. And then slowly walk yourself up. Hands come to your hips. And take a moment to look down. You may have kind of shuffled around a little bit. We just want to make sure that that right knee is in line with the right hip. So everything has its place. Taking care of our body, making sure we protect our joints. Keeping your left hand on your hip. Inhale, big stretch on the right. Fingertips reach to that side wall. And then barely pausing here as you reach up through center. Right hand comes all the way down. Left arm high. And you can keep everything in a nice line here, opening up through the chest. Or maybe with that breath in, you reach those fingertips high and then over to the side wall. Take another breath here. And then slowly rock yourself back up. Hands come down. And just walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Use your strength to lift that leg up and back behind you. Pause for a breath. Really push against the mat. And then lower your knee down back to your tabletop. So take a breath. Walk your knees back slightly. And you're going to lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. So when you arrive, go ahead and untuck those toes. So tops of the feet press into your mat. And you're going to make a little pillow with your hands. So stacking one hand on top of the other. And your forehead's going to come down to that little pillow that you made. Engage your belly. Using your glutes, you're going to inhale, lift your legs long behind you. Stay here for a breath. It doesn't matter how high your legs come. You just want to feel that length behind you. Release your legs down. And then coming up with your upper body, you're going to put your forearms down in front of you. So elbows are tucked or in line with the shoulders. Press against the mat. Engage the legs, shoulders back for Sphinx pose. And then we're going to come back to that position where we have our forehead down onto our hands as we lift the legs. So take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale, legs lift. Exhale, release your legs down and come back to that Sphinx pose. Shoulders draw down the back. Belly again is nice and pulled in. We're not slumping here. Everything's engaged. And then tuck your toes under. Lower yourself all the way down. Push yourself through tabletop. And then walk your hands back so that you come to kneel, but the weight of your hips is on top of your heels. Toes are still curled under. And take a moment to make sure all 10 toes are on the mat. This can be kind of an intense stretch for the backs of your feet. We're working through all of that fascia. We typically don't stretch the backs of our feet, so it may feel a little uncomfortable, but it's a great stretch for your arches. So see if you can just use your breath to kind of calm your body, your mind, and feel that stretch. Kind of use that breath to comb through any tension. Walk yourself forward back to your tabletop. And tuck the toes for a moment and kind of give them a little patting on top of your mat. Just kind of loosen it out, shake it out. Curl the toes back under. As you inhale, you're going to begin to lift your hips back and up, coming to downward facing dog. Take your time here. Begin to pedal out your feet. Use your breath. Slow is the name of the game. So keep everything gentle. I'm just going to take a peek here. Nice. Just move with your breath, bending one knee and then the other. Likely you could be a little tight in the backs of your legs. So use this time to work that out. And once you've pedaled out the feet a few times, keep the knees bent as you push against your mat, and then allow the hips to go high as the heels reach down towards the floor. So the aim is for that V position of your body, but everybody's made differently. So if your heels don't reach the floor, go ahead, you can keep a bend in the knees. Just want to keep a long back. As you inhale, you're going to peel the heels up off the floor, slowly transition to a high plank. Pause, and then reach the body back. Downward facing dog. So a few more times like this, just real fluid movement. Nice and slow. Back and forth. Your last time through, come to settle back into your down dog. Take a breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, walk or step your feet to the top of your mat, and we're going to come to a forward fold. So again, I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see me a little bit better. Nice bend in the knees. Let's keep it soft. Think belly to thighs as you release any tension, head, neck, and shoulders. Hands can be on the mat. You can kind of wiggle around from side to side or grab on to opposite elbows. Slowly lower your hands down. As you inhale, half lift, hands come to shins or upper thighs. Long line in the back, breathe in. And exhale, slowly release back to your forward fold. Again, keep the knees bent. And then use your breath to slowly roll yourself up to stand. Stacking one vertebra at a time. Going slower than you want to go until you reach the top. Head is the last to arrive. Take a look down at your feet. Let's go ahead and bring the big toes together. There'll be a slight little part in the backs of your heels. Legs zip up together. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands arrive at your heart. Send your hands high. Exhale, hinge from your hips, dive your body down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms circle up overhead, palms touch at the top. And exhale, hands down to your heart. Let's do that one more time. Send the fingertips high. Exhale, hinge your body down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms circle high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Take a breath here. to your mat. You're going to interlace all fingers except your pointer fingers. Inhale, send your pointer fingers high, big breath. Exhale, tip your body over to the right. Crescent moon shape. So keep your hips facing forward. You can take that left hip and bump it out a little bit to the side if you need more space. But think of yourself reaching up and over to the side, shoulders relaxed. Inhale through center. And again with that nice fluid motion, just up and over to the left. Use your breath to bring you back through center. Exhale, allow your arms to circle down by your sides. Take a moment, step your feet out about hips width distance. That's 2 fists. You're gonna interlace your hands behind you. Bend in the knees as you inhale, arch through the upper back, little gentle back bend, gaze looks up. And then exhale, hinge from the hips. Dive yourself back to your forward fold, but arms back behind you. So reach those knuckles nice high to the sky, getting a stretch through the shoulder and chest, keeping a bend in those knees. Breathe. Release your hands down. This time step your right leg back, then your left coming into your high plank. Lower your knees down for support. Breathe in length. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way down. When you arrive, untuck the toes. We're going to do that same little back and forth that we did in the beginning of class. So you're going to make that little pillow for your forehead. Inhale, lift the legs back behind you. See if you can go a little bit higher. Hold. And release. This time, take your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to hug your elbows in towards the midline. And as you inhale, just taking a little baby cobra. So where your forearms were once down on the mat, we now have the elbows hugging in towards the side body, pushing the mat away. Keep this small, gentle. Breathe. Release down. Coming back to that little pillow for our forehead. Inhale, legs lift. Release the feet down. And when you're ready, back to that baby cobra. Slowly release down. Bring yourself up through tabletop and take a child's pose. So this is a good time just to get a little bit relaxation. Maybe notice or loosen up any tightness in that low back. If you want to grab some water. We'll be here for another 20 seconds or so, so take your time. Get any movements out that you need. On your next breath in, slowly raise yourself through tabletop. We're going to tuck those knees in line with the hips. Take a moment to inhale, Cow pose, drop that belly. Exhale through cat. Push the ground away. Back to tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift the hips high. Downward facing dog. Long breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg high, so three-legged dog. Dial the hips under so they're level. And then using your breath, you're gonna step that right foot forward, coming into a low lunge. So you're gonna drop that left knee behind you. And take time here to find what feels good. We're going slow here so there's no rush. Want to make sure that that top knee is slightly behind or in line with your ankle. Move that back knee to your comfort level so you have space. And when you're ready, lift your hands high, coming into your low lunge. Taking a couple of breaths here. You can stay in this position, or you can grab hold of your right wrist and take a little bit of a side bend to one side. And then coming back through center, and then taking it over to the other. Just another option if you want a little bit more movement, or you can stay here in your low lunge. Wherever you are, take another breath. Feel length through your fingertips. Exhale. Hands come down. And you're going to step back to your downward facing dog. As you inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, draw the knee in and step that left foot through, coming to lower your right knee down behind you. And if that's not a great transition for you, however you want to get to low lunge, it's perfectly fine. It's yoga, it's your own practice. So when you arrive, get that nice foundation. Work out the kinks, feel grounded, stable, lift, hands high. And your choice, if you would feel good to kind of stay more lifted with the hips more in line with the knee, that's fine. If you feel like you want to kind of allow those hips to descend down, give you a deeper stretch, great. Whatever feels best in your body. And again, we can stay just holding this low lunge, or we can take that side bend. So you can grab onto your left wrist, take that little bend over to the right. And then maybe you switch it out. Take that little side stretch on the other side. Back through center. Draw the hands down. Lift that back knee up. We're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Take a breath and release. You're going to walk your feet to meet your hands, coming back to that forward fold. So at the front of your mat when you arrive, nice bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms circle up overhead, palms to the top. And exhale, hands down to your heart. Take a to your hips. And you're going to step that right foot back, coming into warrior one. So space for the hips to point forward, the hip bones to look forward. That back heel is grounded and your right foot is at about 45-degree angle, so toes are pointing out to the side. You're going to have a deep lunge in that front leg. Play around with the placement, see what feels good for you. The aim is just to keep those hips stable, those hip bones facing forward. Belly continues to draw in. And when you're ready, hands come high. A breath. And see if you can go a little bit deeper in that front leg. Stay here or breathe in. As you breathe out, cactus your arms open, little back bend. Inhale high. And exhale, hands draw down. And then come to your hips. We're going to transition to a low lunge. So you're going to come to have your heel lifted behind you. And then when you're ready, you're going to breathe in and just step that foot back forward. So feet are together. Inhale, exhale, send your hips back for chair pose. So knees squeeze together, upper body high, bring the belly in. Hands can stay on your hips or reach your fingertips out in front of you, arms to the horizon. If you do that, plug your shoulders back into their sockets. Keep, again, that upper body just a little lifted. Send the hips back. Another breath. Inhale, stand high, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, cactus arms open. Inhale up. And exhale, drop the hands down. And then hands come to your hips. On your next breath, you're going to step back with that left foot coming into your warrior one on the other side. It's making those little adjustments that you need. Hips shining forward, nice low lunge, breathe in, fingertips reach up. A couple breaths here. Shoulders relax. Inhale. As you exhale this time, open up the arms. Let the chest shine. Inhale up. And exhale, hands down to your sides. Hands back onto your hips. You're going to pivot on your foot as you come to that low lunge. Take a little bounce and then step the knees, or the feet together rather. When you're there, inhale, feel tall, crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. As you exhale, send the hips back, chairs. Hands can come to prayer this time, or you can keep the arms out in front of you, or hands on hips. Squeeze those knees together. Sit the hips back. If your arms aren't in front of you, bring them to prayer. Inhale, come to stand. And then this time, raise up to your toes, testing your balance. So heels lift. Draw belly in. Legs a little shake. And then last standing pose, we're gonna separate the feet about hips width distance again. You're gonna step back with that right foot. Shorter stance than your warrior one. So maybe about 3 to 4 feet behind. Level the hips. The toes are still at a 45-degree angle. Hands to the hips as you inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Pause. Make sure the hips are level. You can put a little micro bend in that front leg, and then lower yourself down to your pyramid pose. So hands can come down onto the mat. You can grab onto your calf or ankle. The goal again is just to make sure that those hips stay nice and level. No tension in the upper body. Aiming your face towards your leg. Slowly, hands come to your hips. Micro bend in the front leg as you slowly, with control, lift yourself back up. Pause for a second. Find your bearings and then switch it out. Step that right foot up, left foot comes back. Find your positioning. Hands on hips. Inhale, length through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward as you're diving your body down. But once you get to that horizon, pause, regroup, and then release into your stretch. Little bend in that front leg. Slowly bring your hands to your hips. And then guide yourself back up. Pause for a moment. And then step your back foot to the front. Big inhale, arms circle up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, dive yourself down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your feet back to a high plank. Lower knees down. And then lower upper body all the way down. Making that little pillow for your forehead. Hands stack on top of one another. Inhale, right leg, or both legs lift high. Exhale, release. Hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale through cobra. Maybe you lift a little higher this time. All the way down, release. Send hips back to heels, child's pose. And then slowly bring yourself up. And we're going to transition to a seat now onto the mat. So I'm just going to face you so you can see me. So soles of the feet down, knees are bent. You're going to walk your hands behind you. Fingertips can face towards your body or away. It's just a matter of preference. Nice long back though. Chest is nice and broad. As you inhale, you're going to lift your right leg and cross it over your left thigh. So you're coming into this seated figure 4. If this is a little too intense on the hips, just take it with your back down onto your mat in a supine position. It's going to give a little less stress on that stretch. As you breathe here, see if you can keep that right foot flexed. Nice long breaths. Should feel a nice release. Everything from here on out will be down on the mat as we begin to wind down. So use this breath to relax and hold into your stretches. On your next breath, you're going to slowly drop that right foot down towards the ground. Bring yourself up. You're going to walk that left or guide that left heel close to your glutes. So you're going to come to right knee bent over left leg. You're going to take your right hand behind you, inhale left hand high, and exhale, take your twist. If you're on your back, you're just going to take that right foot down to the ground and get the twist on your back. Arms can come to a T or a goalpost or cactus. So just different versions. Feel free to play around with whatever feels good. Like I said, this is your practice, so I'm here just to guide you, but find what you prefer. And we'll come back, release through center, and we're going to trade it out. So if you're seated, feet down on the mat, hands walk back towards wherever is comfortable. Belly draws in as you lift the left leg and cross it over the right thigh. Keep that left foot flexed. If you're taking it on your back, same thing, switching it out on the other side. Now's the time to take that twist. So if you're on your back, just lower that left foot down. And if you're seated, you're just going to drop that left down, raise the body up, and adjust yourself to a seated twist. So both sit bones on the floor, knee high. Left hand behind you, send right fingertips up. And exhale, twist from the belly. Out of your twist. If you're seated, you're going to place your feet back down onto the mat. Walk your hands back. If you're on your back, come to join us in this position. Take a nice deep inhale, raise your hips high, reverse tabletop. One more breath here. And then slowly release the bottom down. And then walk your hands forward and allow yourself to just drape and around over the knees. yourself up. And then slowly roll your body down, keeping your knees bent. We'll come to be on our backs. When you arrive, keeping the knees where they are, you're going to walk your heels closer to your bottom, and you're going to reach your hands for your heels. And we're going to take bridge pose, but we're going to use our breath to guide ourselves up and back down. So it'll be nice and fluid movement. So inhale, press against the mat as you raise your hips up. Low back, mid back, upper back. Pause. And exhale, roll down, upper back, mid back, low back. 3 more times like that. Big inhale, slowly bring yourself up. And exhale, release. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Up. And release down. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then hugging your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a little rock from side to side. Taking your hands on your kneecaps, you're going to keep your toes pointed, and as you inhale, draw your knees out and away, closed, back in. 2 more times. Out, away, pull in, out, away, in. This time reverse it. Out, open, circle in. Out, open, circle in. Last time. Draw in. Hands come to a T. Inhale, slowly drop your knees over to the right. One last little twist on our backs. Shoulder blades glued down to your mat. And then coming back through center, take your knees, drop them over to the other side. Bring your knees back through center, and then slowly release your legs down. Arms come down beside you. Palms can open up towards the sky, or place the palms flat down on your mat. Tuck the shoulders underneath your back. Allow your feet to come open, nice and comfortable, coming into our final Shavasana pose. Close your eyes here. Give yourself a few minutes in this final resting pose, and I'll bring you back here shortly. Allow that breath to slow. Allow your mat to support you. Finishing off the last bit of our practice. You can stay in this final resting pose as long as you need. If you are ready to join me, and go ahead and invite a little bit of movement in your body. So we're just going to wiggle fingers and toes, roll out wrists and ankles. And then after you've done a little bit of movement, go ahead and take your arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. Slowly roll yourself over to one side. Pause for a moment, maybe drawing your knees up towards your chest in a fetal position, allowing your head to rest on your bicep, maybe keeping your eyes closed. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Arrive together, let's take a big inhale in. So draw the arms up and overhead, palms touch at the top. And exhale, hands down to your heart. Bow your head. And thank yourself for joining me today. Thank yourself for showing up and taking this time to carve out a little hour for just yourself, sharing your energy with me and the others on this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and week. Sending you all love and light. Bowing forward, namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great evening. Thank you for being a part of my last virtual class. It's really been an adventure. It's really been amazing. I see that there was a new person that joined. Hello, Jerry. I hope to maybe see you at the Saturday class. As always, thanks, Joyce. Thanks, Alicia.